Channel, you saw last video, you would know at the end of the video we had an incident happen to where the engine was only firing on bank number 2, I believe. So it was only firing on the passenger side, which I'm more than sure is bank 2. So bank 1 wasn't firing at all, and the reason I knew that was because these headers were super cold. The car had been running, these were cold, those were hot. So today I think the first thing I'm gonna do is check the grounds. That's the first thing that pops up. That's what everybody says when you look up this problem. It says check the grounds. So the first thing I'm gonna do is check the ground wires. Before I go any deeper than that, I'm gonna check the grounds. On this side, there are 2 ground locations. There is one down there by the alternator, which I'll show you a better angle later, and there's another one back there behind the head. So I'm gonna check both of those, inspect them, see how they're looking, clean them, do all that stuff, and then I'll check back in with you guys. All right, so like I said, there's one ground wire back here behind the head, and it's super difficult to get to. So this is obviously where the valve cover was. So I took the valve cover off so I had some more space, and so it's back here. You can see where my wrench is attached. So the way that I did it is I use not a socket wrench, just a regular wrench that has that socket end, I guess. And then I stuck it so you can see the way it is that way, perpendicular to where the bolt is, and then that's the way I was able to get it off. I don't see how you could get it off any other way because it is in a really weird position, but that's how I'm doing it to get that one. Everything else I've already disconnected so that the wiring harness on this side comes free. So we have all of this stuff disconnected. After I disconnect that one, I'm able to pull it up, and then I should be good. Okay, so here's what we've got. We've got our wiring harness here. This is our ground wire. Now when I was installing the cam, I did end up snipping this wire. So I'm gonna double check and make sure all that is making good connection, but it looks like it is. Other than that, there is some like corrosion there. You can see the blue. So I'll swipe that off. I'll clean this. I'll clean the area back there. And then I'll do the same for the other ground wire that is down here. See if I can get you guys a shot of that. There, this ground wire here. I'll do the same, but they both look to be like good and not pinched or anything like that. The other thing I did was I was having slow starts, so I attached this wire, a new ground, up here. So it was attached to the head and then to the frame up here. I'm gonna move this one to the trunk where the battery is. It's possible that this was preventing it from making as good a contact as it needed, so I'm gonna move this to the back. Okay, I mean, I've checked the grounds on this side. First off, this is the wire, the main wire for the coil pack, and undid that, and all those wires look good. There's no pinches. Checked all the wires for the injectors themselves. All of them are good. There's no real pinches. My wire that I had to snip that was put back together, it's making contact. So this should be good. So that's good. The one down there, checked, cleaned, should be good. And then I followed the wires all the way to where they come into this right here. No pinches, no nothing, so it should be good. And then I followed the wire and it ends up plugging in right here. So I took that off and checked, and everything looked good. So everything looks good. Clearly there's something wrong. But I mean, I checked the whole harness, man. So I'm gonna put it back together, and then I'll probably leave the valve cover off. That way we can see the lifters do their thing on this side, just to make sure I don't have any collapsed lifters. I'll crank it a little bit, we'll see that, and then after that put everything back together and try and start it. But honestly, man, like I said yesterday, I'm lost. I'm chasing a ghost. I hate electrical stuff, but I'm here doing it, and we'll see if anything changes, although I doubt it. Like I said, we're gonna move this wire to the trunk. I'll probably do a separate video on doing that, just because it's like an extra ground type of thing that you're supposed to do and have a weak starter. So I'll do a separate video on me moving that, but I'm gonna get back to doing all this stuff, put things back together, and then we'll see. Okay, so I'm getting ready to crank this thing up. We really didn't do anything. I mean, we removed that one wire, we cleaned the corrosion off of the ground that goes to the back of the head, We made sure that that wire was still making contact back there, the one that I spliced together. And that's really it. I chased the wires, made sure there was no kinks, cleaned all the surfaces, and that's it. So I'm not extremely optimistic about this. I don't think it's gonna work. We'll crank it and see what it does. Okay, let's see again. Okay, so we started it, and I'm not gonna lie, like, it actually ran pretty good, which is crazy to me. And the next thing I did was brought out the thermometer, and so we're at 117 right there, and then over here it should be around the same degree, and we're at basically 114. I'll go ahead and try and aim for one on the back here. See if I can get a read. 122. It's further back, so it should be a little bit hotter because it's harder to cool. Stick back here. 113, but I feel like I was a little high. Let me see if I can get a better. 117, yeah. So they're both warming up now. Here's the proof. I'm not gonna lie. If it turns out that all that was wrong was there was some corrosion on the wire, and one of the wires that I put, I don't even know, a year ago or something like that was the problem, that's gonna blow my mind. It's just gonna further my hate for electrical stuff. But right now it ran pretty well. I'm gonna take it on the block. We'll see how it does. If it does good, I'm still gonna take it to the tuner tomorrow. That way he can check over everything. But yeah, that's gonna be insane, man. Let's take it out for a spin. I'm praying for the best, but pessimism. Yeah, so like I said, even if things are good right now, I'm still gonna take it to the tuner so he can give it a once over. But like right now it's idling way better, like a million times better. But I won't know for sure until I drive this thing around. So let it warm up, and then I'll pick up recording again. Okay, so the first test is gonna be putting this car into gear. So put it in reverse. Still seems good. We're gonna do the exact same thing we did in last video. Just take this thing around the block and see how it does. But right now it's not sounding half bad. But I will not be fooled. The last time we were having this problem, a couple videos ago, it drove well for 15 minutes and then it started to misfire again. So although things are looking good right now, I don't have my hopes up because it could just be fronting again and then the problem could just come back. So we're gonna take it around the block here a couple times until my oil temp gets up to where I want it to be. It's almost there already. And then we'll take it out and give it a little bit of pull, a little bit of sauce, and to see if, you know, if things work out. But right now it's not sounding half bad. All right, the oil is at a good temp, 200 degrees. We're gonna take this thing out. I might take it to the gas station and get gas. Just take a little trip. But first, let me drive it around here and see how it does. Hey, this song right here, Hype. Anyway, before I get copyrighted, we have arrived at the gas station. So far, so good. Don't have any problems. Oh, I parked on the wrong side. Dude, I haven't driven this car in a while. Oh, stupid, stupid. Oh. So, that's why I had that wire. Oh, I just got a service stability track, bro. That's why I had that wire connected, because it's gonna help with those cold starts. So I got a service StabiliTrak, so I need to add that wire back. I'm gonna go ahead and drive since I really don't need gas, but now it's bucking and knucking, so I can get that alternator going. Let me see my battery. My battery voltage is good. So let's go back home, because it really didn't like that hot start. So that's why you add that wire that I had to avoid those hot starts, because right now it's hot outside and the car does not like that. So we're gonna get to driving here, head back home, but the car was driving well, other than that when I just turned it off and turned it back on again. Okay, so the car just did amazing, man. It was driving really well. We made it to the gas station, no problems at all. And then we had a little hiccup when I parked on the wrong side, started it, and it had an ultra slow start, and then popped up service StabiliTrak. My tack went out, and then it wasn't driving as good as what it was like when we first took off, like heading to the gas station, but it's driving a million times better than what it was when it was misfiring. So what ended up happening is, the reason you add, and I touched on it earlier in the video, but the reason you add this wire is because the starter for these cars is in a not so optimal position down there by the header. So it gets hot, and so you add these ground wires to help with the heat soak that it gets, and it helps it crank up easier. I took this one off, and I didn't want to add it back because, well, things are working. The other place you can add it is back here, which I think we'll do in tomorrow's video. We'll add that wire back, but if I can get this undone, you add the wire back here. So you put it on the negative terminal of the battery right there, and then you add the ground right there where that bolt is, so it goes from there to there. So we'll do that in tomorrow's video. For today, I think we're just gonna take our W. I mean, it ran well for the first time in God knows how long. So I think that we're just gonna take our W for today. That'll be it for today. Tomorrow we will come back, do that wire on the back, and hopefully that fixes our heat soak problem. If not, we'll have to look into adding a wire up here, and hopefully it doesn't restart our misfire problem. But right now the car's driving good. I'm gonna let it cool here. I'm probably not even gonna drive it right now. I'll drive another car because I really don't want to push my luck, man. I haven't been this happy in a while. But that should be it for this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. And until next time, I'm out here.